last slide, it's actually in the previous slide, what I talk about is, the multi-channel strategy. But, we finished the multi-channel strategy, a year ago. And what we are saying now is omni-channel. Because omni is different. In the multi-channel strategy, what we talk about is, there was, ORs, like, we communicated with our customers like, okay, you can use branch, or you can use mobile banking, or you can use internet banking, or. But in the omni-channel strategy, there is no or, there is and. So it's fully about, fully connected with, customer experience. How? When we communicate now to our customers, what we say, you can use branch, and with the same experience in internet banking, with the same experience with, mobile banking, or smart devices, any smart device or any smart screens. With this strategy, now we have, 33% of the Garanti Bank users only use self-service channels, and the 80% of all financial transactions occur via our digital channels. So, as you can imagine, we have 12 million customers in Turkish market, and 80% of all financial transactions occur via our digital channels. So it's a very big number. In 10 years ago, this number was 30%. 5 years ago, it was 50%, and today is 80%, and it's increasing rapidly. So after that, I just want to show you the new product called Garanti. And Garanti is a contextual banking, and what I'm going to show you is a prototype. I hope it works. This is Garanti, and this is the public page of Garanti, and we created this with Fjord and Mark, and actually we work with Fjord for design and the user experience. As you can see, it's not like a bank. The colors are different, the experience is different. There's an avatar on the top left-hand side. It talks with our customers, and we integrated the nuance technology here, and it talks with you. And there are some other stuff here. Sorry for Turkish, but the application is in Turkish, but I'm going to explain in English. And there's a limit overview there on the top. You can see your current account balance, and also your credit card balance on the top. And you do not need to enter any of your security credentials that you want to see them, because you can predefine all of them, and there's a percentage there. If you want to see it, there's a real customer needs in the application, because people want to see their current balances and the credit card balances or the limits. But when they want to do this, they should enter the internet or mobile banking credentials. But now you do not need to see it, because you know the max, you know the mean. You can predefine it, and you can see, okay, I have a limit in the credit card, so I can purchase something like 2,000 euros. So this is the public screen, as you can see. There are many different applications, but
can I just ask you a question? Yeah. So if we go back to those speedometers there, so in effect those are in logged out state, so you're not logged in. Yeah. You can get a visual glanceable check on your financial status,
yeah, right.
But you've taken out the numbers so that it's secure.
Yeah, it's secure.
Okay, and people can define the levels.
Yeah, you can define like $10,000 or $100,000, depends on you. So let's enter. It's a prototype, by the way. The numbers are fake. This is the normal credential. And this is the main public screen of Garanti. So as you can see on the top, there's an avatar again. It communicates you everything about you. It says now, welcome to Garanti. You can see many different offers and propositions here. But for example, it communicates like she communicates like everything. If you receive money, she communicates you. If you need something like, for example, a personal loan, then she communicates you. So the mentality of Garanti, it's the App Store mentality. There's a App Store on the top right hand side, and when I click on it, you can see the application center. There are many different applications in it. You can find the all banking financial transactions here, but on the other hand, there are many others like QR payments, smart offers, savings, social networking, and there are some there's a wallet application inside. So if you want to use a wallet, then there is here, and you can download it. Like where is the wallet? For example, here there's a Biletix. It's the main ticket master of the Turkey, and they implement their applications inside of iGuarantee. And if I want to, or I can choose QR payment, you can see the QR payment. There are some screens like normal application centers. If you want to add it to your main screen, it's added. It's on the bottom side.
Can I pick up a couple of questions here? So, could you just explain how the QR payments work? I think they work in-store and on ATMs as well.
It's physical, also non-physical. When you go to a merchant, then you can say, okay, I want to pay with a QR. Then we implemented we have approximately more than 400,000 merchants in Turkey. So we implemented all our this QR payment to our POSs. So if you want to pay something in Starbucks, and if they have our POSs, then you can open the QR payment, just enter the amount in the merchant, and it creates a QR code on the screen, also on the receipt, in case of sun, in case of some different things, because some of the POSs have some bad screens.
Right.
So when you open your iGuarantee platform, just to do that, you read the QR code, and after that, there's a wallet inside. You should select your credit card or your normal saving account. Then you can pay it.
But your digital card, not a physical card.
Not a physical card. And also you can do this, also in the digital platforms. It's available in everywhere. Also QR is available for the money withdrawal. When you go to an ATM, if you want to withdraw money, you just need to enter enter button. QR withdrawal with QR, and when you click on it, you will see a QR code there. You can predefine that okay, I want to withdraw 50 Turkish liras, and when you show it to the screen, when you read the QR code, you do not need to enter anything. You just need to enter everything in this platform and just read the QR code and withdraw the money.
And the money comes out.
Yeah. So there are many stuffs here. The main one was the application center. The other one is slide menu. As you can see, there's a slider on the left hand side. You can see everything here. Deniz is the owner of this account, and there are many applications you can navigate from here. Also, you can see the avatar, the Nina there. Also, you can navigate from this part, from the main screen. I will talk about not everything, because there are 24 different applications in Garanti, and there will be new applications in the very soon. The strategy was it's a mobile first strategy for the Garanti Bank. We have 45% market share, and it's probably going up 50% something in the next Q. So we want to create something different. We want to tap into our customers' lives, and it's not easy. Of course, daily transactions are important, but instead of daily transactions, you should do something different. That if you want, tap into daily lives. So that's why we created, contextual banking and living services. What is contextual banking? When you click on the money bar, it says 10,000 Turkish liras there. You can see everything. This is the waiting, payments, 5,000 Turkish liras, 1,050, which is going to your savings, and there's a surplus, 3,500. So normally in a banking transaction, in a banking site, if you want to save, the normal transaction process is at least 3 or 4 screens if you want to save it. Okay? You should select your account or credit card, or then you should select saving thing. In here, I can see that okay, there's a 3,500. I can save it right away.
Immediately.
and just click on Save Now. It opens a pop-up, pops up. You can predefine that. Okay, I just want save every time 50 Turkish liras. When I click on it, as you can see, it's all the 50 Turkish liras goes down to the saving account on the bottom side. So and also there is 1,550 Turkish liras there. And in the money bar, if I want to see the future, there's a projection tool. When I click on the projection tool, I can see the future. And the future is sunny for me. It calculates everything automatically, and it looks my 1 year of history of my all accounts on all credit cards. It calculates automatically everything, and it says to me, and the avatar is telling me, okay, the sunny days are coming. If you want to say there's a surplus money, and you can say in this application there are specific saving product that just be created just for this application, and you can save it.
Deniz, I'm conscious of time, so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions,
Sure.
and then well, I mean, there's so much to look at here, and a lot to explore. And I know Deniz is going to be around today, so if people are interested, I'm sure you'd be prepared to show more of it. I want to just capture a couple of things. So, in effect, what you've done is you've turned a bank into an application store. Is that right? Because that's a pretty big maneuver. Does that also mean that other people can create apps for you now? Are you managing those apps from other people?
I think it's a very important topic for the financial institutions, and it's a very hot topic. What we see, in Turkey, the bank as a service is going to be really important, idea for the financial institutions, because there are there's a big competition, in the financial area, but on the other hand, there are some non-traditionals in the area as well, and the non-traditionals, as you can imagine, also there are some representatives from here, from the non-traditionals. What we see is, we have the services like in the application forms, and we just want to give all these applications as a service to anyone who want to use it. So it's easy to implement a wallet. We have a wallet here, as you can see, and if someone use, for example, Amazon, or if someone wants to use this wallet in his application or internet site, it's an open platform.
So that forgive me for that suggests then what I would call an atomization of banks. That we're on the verge of an era where we're going to see banks and probably other services, not financial, begin to think of themselves as a whole series of component parts that can be separated out. But I'd really welcome your views on this, Brian.
I think the idea of the bank as a platform or bank as an open source is really interesting. I think if you look at what's happening today, the mints of the world, and customers are definitely looking for ways to access their information. If you look back on the prior panel, we're talking about wearables, all about big data, the cloud. I think your financial information begins to get into that as well. I think market by market, you have to take a look at what makes sense. And I think we'll certainly see in the US some of that start to happen, where you'll be able to get access to some of your data. And on the flip side of that, you'll be able to use other folks' data within your banking app. So maybe you're bringing in some Zillow information into your bank application to keep track of the value of your house, to know when it's time to refinance, for example.
And are you doing stuff like that now, or are you looking at it?
We're looking at it. So one of the hats I wear is I run the Digital Innovations Lab for Wells Fargo. And so we're exploring this bank open API idea very actively right now.
Joanna, what about you? I think in a way you're the sort of wild card on the panel, because you're not a bank, and yet you're clearly a financial service. And in many ways you have the ability to disrupt the banks to some extent. So your view on this idea of banking as a service and the atomization?
Yeah, so American Express took a move a couple of years ago, actually, to move beyond sort of our traditional customer base and our traditional products, which you're probably very familiar with, the charge and credit card products, that primarily focused on the affluent segment, both here in the US and across the world. A couple of years ago, we made a decision to move more into the more mass market and to make the brand more inclusive. And we've also been working with a new technology platform that we acquired to be able to introduce different types of products and services that are more bank-like, to be able to address a lot of these markets. So in the US, we launched a product last year with Walmart called Bluebird, which is an alternative banking product. Similar to actually what you've just shown here in Turkey, it's focused on lots of multiple funds in, multiple funds out, different types of features and functionality. But to get to the point of your question though, yeah, I do think there's a huge opportunity here for the atomization of the banking and financial institutions. I run product across this new part of American Express, and as I think about where the product will go, it could be that something like P2P functionality or something like a micro-lending component that I might put on my platform and offer to certain customer bases through different partners could actually be run through another bank or a different institution altogether. So I actually think that is the way that the market will go. It's certainly the way that we're thinking about how we offer products, because different features and functionality are more relevant to different consumers.
So one of the things that interests me about what you just said is it suggests that in response to this omni-channel world, and I love Deniz's definition of that. By the way, I think what was it you said, Deniz? You said omni-channel is and, not or. But it was very good. In that world, then, you're responding by creating products like Bluebird. And yet Bluebird, looking at it this morning, I was thinking, this is brand-wise, this is quite different from Amex. It doesn't exactly meet my expectations, my old expectations of what Amex are. Does that create complications for you managing those brands through this omni-channel world?
Yeah, not so much. The way that we're going about building these products is actually to market to the underbanked, unbanked, and unhappily banked consumers. We are talking to consumers in a very different way, correctly so. Like from a marketing perspective and a positioning perspective, we've had to change the face of American Express to talk about, put your salary on this product, put your direct deposit, within the platform. Go to a Walmart store and you can load cash onto a product and then spend online. What the opportunity, the different channels that we have available to us lets a customer be serviced 24/7. It lets us reach this customer segment that primarily gets their internet access through smartphones or mobile phone devices. So I think it actually creates the opportunity for us, actually.
I remember back in the early 1980s, a friend of mine saying to me very wittily that the further south you go in Europe, the longer it takes to get money out of a bank. Deniz seems to me to be, a walking example of the fact that that's turned on its head completely now. And clearly, and Brian, you mentioned this, you see Turkey as a hotbed of innovation, the banks are being very aggressive. Do you think, all three of you, that other disruptors are likely to come to the market who are going to attack the banks in the same way as mobile has been seen as a platform for the disruption of a lot of other industries? Do you think this is going to happen in banking, or do you think banks are moving fast enough to suppress that and be dominant? Brian, maybe you could go first.
Yeah, first your comment about Turkey. I just returned from a conference in Brussels, and there were several Turkish banks presenting there. Just amazing stuff happening in Turkey, really interesting stuff. Garanti is certainly on the leading edge of that, and it helps that the population is, the average age is 23. So it's a very young country, they're very social, so it's very different. I think here in the US, mobile is a channel. And I think one of the things, even Matt's story where we started the day off today about meeting people on BART, it's not, mobile doesn't change people's fundamental needs, right? You have basic financial needs, they're the same financial needs you've always had. You need credit, you need a safe place to put your money, right? You need some advice and guidance. Those things don't change because of mobile, and so I think mobile becomes this fantastic way to deliver those services. It's a whole new way for us to reach our customers, but it doesn't change those fundamental needs. And so I think where we do see disruption is where you attack sort of infrastructure or ways to do things that are very, there's a lot of barriers. I think Square is a great example of that.
Like billing.
Square is not actually about the dongle, it's not about the physical device, it's actually about the ability for anybody to walk into an Apple store and for $10, anyone can accept credit card payments. That is disruptive.
Yeah, I agree.
That is disruptive. Now that's not going to take down the banks, but that's very disruptive because it's democratized the ability to accept credit card payments.
Yep.
I think from a disruption point of view, there's the startup community, which is really causing a lot of disruption, which I think has actually helped us. It helped us move faster in the traditional banking and financial institutions, especially here in the US. We're seeing, even within our own teams, just the way we look at, employing talent within American Express. We're looking much more at the software companies. I run a team of designers in-house who look primarily at the UI and the user experience across all these new products and services that we're introducing. It's really changing the way that we're operating, the way we work, actually as a company. The thing that I think stops banks and financial institutions from being disrupted completely is a couple of things. One is the regulatory environment.
Yeah.
It's tough to operate in, and I think once some of the startups get big enough that they get noticed, then they come under the regulatory scrutiny, which is challenging. And if you've lived through it here in the US, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
The other thing is as Deniz alluded to, the whole idea of trust and security is absolutely critical when you're talking about someone's money. I think people are very open to sharing photographs and updates and status and where they are, but when more and more, the more research we do, the more tests we do. When it comes to actually talking about financial information, you need someone who you want to trust the brand is going to manage your data effectively. You want to know that there's fraud, they're knowledgeable about fraud and being able to manage money effectively. And I think that's where there's an advantage with the financial institutions as we continue to move forward. But definitely the disruption's helping us to move faster and to think a lot differently about consumer experience and where we want to put products out in the market.
So your trust point leads me on to my next question, which is about social media, because obviously I remember 2-3 years ago speculating idly in a conversation with a few people that at some stage or another banking would go social, and there was laughter, and that's not going to happen. And yet now I think we're beginning to see clear signs of it. So Deniz, maybe you could talk a little about some of the social integration in iGuarantee.
Actually, as you said, the social is, when you talk about the financial institution or the financial needs, being social is not really, that simple for the customers. But on the other hand, what we created, in Garanti is a special social network. This is the screen of the special network, and you can synchronize your Facebook, Twitter, and Foursquare account with your iGuarantee. Once you sync them, you can see all your friends as a list here. And if you want to send money to someone here, or if you want to see it, as you can see, okay, this is Deniz Güven, and these are the synchronization points of, okay, I synchronize my Facebook, and this is my last check-in. Actually, we work with Foursquare guys, like Amex did, and we have a special API with them, and also we use it, in different services in iGuarantee. When you check in somewhere, even your iGuarantee is closed, on your iPhone, then it's easy that our iGuarantee application understands that, and then it informs you, it notifies you that, okay, you check into Salt, and then Salt is a great place, and it's our merchant, and we can offer something to you, 10% discount. So it's a different connection between the iGuarantee and Foursquare. Also, the Facebook, and this account is a dummy account, and you can see as a friend of this dummy account, Deniz Güven, and this is my account number, and if I'm a iGuarantee customer, if the dummy account is the iGuarantee customer, and if we both synchronize our accounts with the Facebook, then we can see everything here. This is Deniz Güven, this is my account number, this is my card number, and if I want to send money, the only thing that I do is everything is predefined, and then what I do is and send it.
It's as easy as that, to send money to your Facebook friends.
And I just send it.
And can you